What's up, everybody? This is a video that I've been saying was on the way, and I originally was going to do this video on Tuesday, but I decided to move it up just a little bit, and I'll get into why that is later on. But you see what the focus is here: Funko SDCC exclusives and improving your odds. And of course, when I say improving your odds, I'm talking about you getting the figures that you would like that are going to be and let me be clear, I'm mainly focusing on the shared exclusives here because I'm not going to the convention, and I know most of us are not going to the actual convention. So this is focusing on the shared exclusives and how you can improve your odds to get these figures. Now, of course, I can't guarantee that you'll get everything that you want because I can't even guarantee that for myself, but I do want to try to help out as much as I can. And this video is mainly geared towards new collectors, especially people that are dealing with their first San Diego Comic-Con. So for those of you that are very familiar with the process, you might not necessarily hear anything new here. So again, I'm mainly trying to help out new collectors with this video. Now, as far as the shared exclusives and where they're going to be, at the time of this recording, Funko has still not put out the official list, but they will be doing that very soon. You know, it could be 24 hours from now, it could be you know, early on Wednesday. You know, we'll just have to wait and see with that. But of course, I am going to do a video on Wednesday about the shared exclusive locations, and I will put as many links as I can in the description to help you all out with that. So remember, there is another video on the way on Wednesday that will also try to help you all out with getting the figures that you are after. Now, this list, I'm not going to read through it because, again, remember, this is not an official list. It's not official until Funko says it's official, but most of this does seem pretty legit. There has been a lot of proof that these figures are going to be where it says right now, but again, I'm not going to take it as 100% accurate until Funko actually shares the list. But you can pause this, you can look over it, get some ideas about it, but just don't be surprised if anything changes in the next day or two. Here again, you see the pricing, and I'm not going to read off the prices. You all can see the pricing going on here, but I do want to stress though that when you think about the pricing, for one thing, keep in mind that Hot Cash is not supposed to work with SDCC exclusives. I know some of you may still have Hot Cash, but remember, it's not supposed to work with them. You know, we'll see what happens. I know because it wasn't supposed to work with the Disney Treasures box, and some people were able to use Hot Cash with that treasure, you know, the Disney Treasures box. So we'll see what happens with the exclusives, but from the company, you know, they're saying that it won't work. Also, when you're adding up and you're doing your budget basically and what you're going to spend and how much you have to spend for your figures, don't forget about taxes and also shipping costs. Definitely keep those in mind as well, you know, for those of you that are shopping online. Now, I really do want to go ahead and dive into, you know, my advice about ordering online, which is mainly what I'm going to do. This is mainly what I did last year as well. I'm going to try to get as much as I can online. So, you know, a lot of people have been asking, when are the figures going to become available? It really depends on the retailer, but basically on the evening of Wednesday is really, you should be up, you should be alert. The evening of Wednesday, the 18th, you should be up and you should be alert. So not all retailers are going to you know, list their figures at the same time. And I do want to say, when I say list the figures, on some websites you will see the figures, but they won't actually be purchasable yet. So if you click on a figure and it says that it's sold out or it's not in stock, whatever it may be, that may not necessarily be the case. It could be that it actually hasn't gone live on the website yet, so do bear that in mind. But yeah, throughout the evening, late Wednesday on into Thursday, the figures are going to start to show up online. Now me, because I'm on the East Coast, I have to think about my time zone, but I also have to think about the West Coast where some businesses are basically based. So for me personally, I'm going to be checking from about midnight, really a little bit earlier than that, on until as late as 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So of course, for the West Coast Pacific Standard Time, that would be from around like 9 p.m. to around midnight. Yeah, so being on the East Coast is a little bit rougher. I was to say you have to stay up, you know, late on into the night to make sure I don't miss anything on particular websites. But I'm gonna do that, you know, and that's part of the reason why I'm kind of moving up my video schedule to make sure I give myself time to rest. And that video that I'm gonna do Wednesday, I'm gonna try to get it up as early as possible. Now, also, this is a big suggestion for all of you. Make sure that you have accounts set up for the websites that you plan to purchase from. So for example, I know some people are interested in getting figures that are going to be with Toy Tokyo. You should have a Toy Tokyo account. because that's going to make it a lot faster for you to check out. And if any of these websites allow you to go ahead and save your payment information, make sure that you do that. You want to make sure that your checkout is as fast as possible. So throughout the night, like I said, late Wednesday on into Thursday, check these websites, and it might help if you know you're purchasing from multiple websites to make sure that you have multiple browser windows open and refresh, you know, just like it says here. Keep checking those websites, especially every, I would say, you know, I mean, be pretty regular about it, like every 15 minutes or so, I would say. Definitely no less than that. Check on a regular basis. And to keep you on point with when the figures actually go live, of course, you can check on social media. You can check Instagram. There's various Instagram accounts. There are Twitter accounts, Facebook groups, including Funko Pop Hunters, which is run by Nerd Therapy. They have a YouTube channel. A lot of people are familiar with them already. So their Facebook group is usually pretty reliable when it comes to the conventions. So yeah, just make sure that you check on social media as well to learn when the figures are going live on particular websites. Now, when the figures go live, do understand that there's going to be a lot of people trying to get the figures. So some of these websites are going to struggle. Some of them are going to be very sluggish. You might get kicked off the website sometimes, or, you know, basically get rerouted and all types of things. So be patient with it. A good example of this is last year. When GameStop's figures went live, the first hour, it was pretty bad. Like, people were really struggling to try to check out. But after like hour and a half to 2 hours or so, things really smoothed out, and it was pretty easy to go make a purchase. So be patient with the website. Some websites are really going to struggle with that amount of traffic that they're going to get. Now, the Game of Thrones figures, there's only 2 Game of Thrones items, but I know last year the Game of Thrones items actually ended up on HBO's website, so that could happen again. So if you're interested in those, you know, the Game of Thrones items, and you can't get them from the other retailer wherever they end up, then you might want to check HBO's website to see if they list them as well. Now, figures that sell out, remember, they could be restocked at some point. I'm not guaranteeing that, but, you know, some of the figures that sell out initially could end up getting a restock, and that restock could happen in a couple of hours, a couple of days, or maybe even a couple of months later. You might see them restocked again. As a matter of fact, there are still figures from last year's SDCC and even the year before that are still available online right now because they've been restocked. So if you miss out on something initially, don't be disheartened. That doesn't mean it's completely gone. You may still have a chance at it later on. Now, for people that are going to shop in stores, and I know some people, they only want to shop in stores because they don't trust the shipping, they don't want to pay the shipping costs. You know, that's up to you. Just to realize that by not shopping online, you are leaving yourself open to possibly miss out on some things, because there's no guarantee what's going to be in your local stores. Now, we know that some stores like Hot Topic tend to have pretty good stock, and you know, GameStop as well tends to have pretty good stock as well. But remember, no guarantee in your local stores. So and also along with that, there are certain figures that may be very limited in number. For example, I know last year Barnes & Noble's, the shared exclusives that they got were pretty small number. Like Scareglow, wasn't very many of them. And also there's a chance that some figures may arrive late. You know, don't expect, especially if this is your first SDCC, don't expect everything to run smoothly, because it probably won't. I know last year some retailers did not get all of their exclusives right away, so just don't be surprised if that happens. Also, there are some stores that may set limits on how much you can get. You know, there might be a maximum number of figures that you can pick up. I know Barnes & Noble last year, there were some Barnes & Noble's locations that only allowed people to get 2 of the shared exclusives. So you might want to call ahead to your stores and get some details about how many figures you can purchase with them. Yeah, really, and that's a big suggestion I want to make, by the way, because sometimes people ask questions, not just of me, but of other YouTubers and other people that have a presence on social media. They'll reach out and ask them things about their local stores. It makes a lot more sense to call your local stores and get the information directly from them about what's going on. So especially if you want to know if your local store has the limit or not of what you can get, then, you know, call them, contact them. That's something you should already be on the ball with, checking that out. Also, when you're trying to find this information, make sure that you know what times the stores open up, because you definitely want to plan that as well. Because if you can be there when the doors open, trust me, you want to be there. Now, I know that some retailers are going to open up at the same time and you can't be everywhere at once. So if you have any friends or family that can help you out, definitely plan for that as well. That can make a big difference. As far as the Funko shop is concerned, last year what Funko did is they released some shared exclusive items that originally were just going to be convention only, but they did make some available on the Funko shop. And what they basically did is, over the course of San Diego Comic-Con, throughout the Thursday through Sunday time period, they would release a figure every couple of hours. And it was pretty random. For people thought they had a pattern down, they thought it was every 2 hours. That turned out not to be the case. Funko kind of mixed it up. So I don't know if they're going to do that again this year, or if they're going to drop everything at one time like they did with Emerald City Comic Con earlier this year. We'll just have to wait and find out. There's no concrete information about that. So I'm just going to strongly suggest that while the convention is going on Thursday through Sunday, make sure that you check the pop-up shop, Funko pop-up shop, and you could just look that up. It's easy to find. And also the Funko shop, easy to find. You look that up. These are two separate URLs, by the way. But yeah, keep checking those on a regular basis while San Diego Comic-Con is going on, because, and this is really important, because yes, you can check on Instagram and in Facebook groups to see when they say that something is on the Funko shop or on the Funko pop-up shop. But usually by the time you get there, it's going to be gone. That things move very quickly when it comes to the Funko shop, especially during convention time. So I would say it's best to check regularly yourself and really stay up on that. Now, some more random information here, and really some more opportunities, I should say. If you are interested in any of the Conan O'Brien pops, and I know, of course, for most of us, we will not be going to his show and attending and trying to get it as part of his audience. So there, you are still going to have opportunities to try to get his figures. What he's going to do, and you basically need to check out his show Thursday through Sunday, but of course we know fellow collectors are going to share these codes on social media. But basically, you make sure you get the code, you go to his website, teamcoco.com, enter that code, and basically see if you won that particular figure that he shared that particular evening. So you will get, like I said, opportunities to try to win one of his exclusive figures while the convention is going on. Also, do make sure that you tune in to the Fun Days live stream, which will be on Friday. And it's you see the website here, go.funko.com/Fun Days. The show actually starts at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Friday. The live stream starts an hour earlier, though, if you want to go ahead and check it out. And you can tweet along with them with the hashtag Funko Fun Days. And while the live stream is going on, viewers will have the opportunity to win some exclusive figures. So it's really, to me, worth it to check that out if you have that time to tune in. Now, I do want to share this as well. This is advice really for all collectors. If you're not already following Funko on Facebook or Twitter, you probably should, because they do giveaways on a regular basis, daily. They do multiple giveaways daily, and already they have some SDCC exclusives that they have available as giveaways. So yeah, definitely make sure that you are following at Original Funko on Twitter, and like I said, you can check them out on Facebook as well. Now, for international collectors, one of the main ways you can try to get some of these exclusives, you know, and again, this is about people outside of the US, because Pop Culture will not ship these to the US or Canada. So if you're outside of the US or Canada and you want to try to get some of these figures, check out Pop Culture's website on Friday, July 20th at 7 a.m. and that's Australian Eastern Standard Time. Now, obviously, if you're not in that time zone, you know, check it out, you know, do the conversion online basically and figure out what exactly that time will be for where you are, and make sure you're on that website, because trust me, things are going to go very quickly. I don't know how many exclusives they're going to have, what exclusives they're going to have. I just know they're going to have some of the shared exclusives available on their website, and again, they're probably going to go pretty quickly. Now, Forbidden Planet International, they haven't really done like an announcement about what they're going to get, but more than likely they will get some SDCC exclusives as well. And as far as I know, there's no restrictions on their shipping, so people throughout the world, including you know, collectors in Canada, can check with Forbidden Planet International to see if they get some of these exclusives. And they may not get them right away, you know, give it some time and see if they get some of those listed on their website. So a couple of last minute things here. For one thing, make sure that you get some rest beforehand, especially if you're like me and you know you're going to be staying up throughout the night to try to get some of these figures. Make sure you get some rest, and that's why I kind of moved up my video schedule. And like I said, you know, the video that I'm going to do Wednesday, I'm going to try to get that up as early as possible, so then I can maybe get a nap in and then, you know, be up most of the night checking on these websites. Yeah, just make sure you're well rested for it. Also, really go after the figures that you want. You know, don't kind of procrastinate. Don't wait and see, because you try to wait and see when it comes to San Diego Comic-Con, usually things end up gone. Also, don't just wait on help from others. I mean, it's you know, it's of course helpful to reach out to friends and, you know, to ask people to help you out, but don't just completely rely on other collectors. Really go after what you want and be responsible for your collection. And if you have spare money, if you can afford it, and you see something that you want, buy it. Again, don't procrastinate, because when people are indecisive and they kind of sit back, that's when they end up with some regrets later on. So if you can afford it, if you have the money to spare and you see something you're interested in, I would say go for it, so you don't have those regrets later. Now, do remember though, if you do miss out on some figures, they may get restocked later on, but there's no guarantee on that, you know. So it's kind of a gamble basically if you pass up on something. And I know some people can't afford everything they want at one time, so you got to decide for yourself, what do you think might be available later on, or what might get restocked. But it's a gamble. Just do bear that in mind. Nothing is really guaranteed with that. You know, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I know I'm going to try to be optimistic. And of course, you know, I always have the attitude that if I don't get something, it's not the end of the world. You know, I'm already very fortunate with the collection that I have. So, you know, of course, there are certain ones I really would like to get. But if I miss out on some, you know, I'll live. It'll be all right. And I know that there may be some opportunities eventually, or, you know, even if it's down the line. But I really do hope that people get at least, you know, the majority of what you are interested in. And like I said, I'm going to do that video on Wednesday to try to help you all out. And I'll put the links in the description and everything. And, you know, if I have the time, if I'm free, if I'm available to do it, as some things change throughout the night, maybe I will try to update the description as well. And also, you know, you all help out the community also. Like, if you have any information that you think is going to help out fellow collectors, especially Wednesday evening, you know, make sure you drop it in the comments. And I suggest that everybody check out what's going on in the comments on that evening. You know, some people might share some links that I missed, you know, so let's just help each other out in that way. And that's really what this video was all about. So I hope that people that stuck with this video got something out of it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you all again real soon.